Digital spaces have increasingly become new hunting grounds for predators who groom young girls into early marriages, sexual exploitation, and trafficking. Mr. Wilson Opudo, a public health manager at the Kenya Red Cross Society, explains some of the common tactics used by digital gender based violence perpetrators to lure young girls and boys into abusive situations.
My name is Wilson Owino Pudo. I'm a public health manager here at Kenya Red Cross. I do support sexual reproductive health rights and gender-based violence. I also do support a portfolio on maternal and neonatal health. By extension, all this also culminate into protection and gender inclusion, which is one of the portfolios that I do support within the society to make sure that there is institutionalization of protection and gender inclusion. We have the 5 common tactics. One is actually based on false promises. These false promises are usually anchored on probably job offers, education opportunities for either a child, for the single mother, or a young girl who's coming from poverty lifestyle. And then we also have gifts that will always be given, so that they can be able to gain trust with the perpetrator. And these are some of the methods that many perpetrators use to lure women. And it's not only men, but you also have women who also lure women into GBV. Number 2, which is quite common, is actually emotional manipulation. And in this, you realize that there are perpetrators who claim to kind of express themselves to showing love and protection. And also kind of for a girl or a woman, they'll be able to fall into the trap because they'll know that at least there's some level of security and also dependency, for better life. The third one is through threats and coercion. Imagine you being intimidated after someone takes a picture of you naked and tells you that, you know what, if you don't fall for me, or if you don't do ABCD, then I'm going to expose you out there in the online, into the virtual space. So again, that's quite traumatizing, and I think we've also seen on the media on women coming out, to call out for advocates to champion against TFGBV. The fourth one is actually on peer influence, and for this we've seen girls being encouraged to follow friends or acquaintances into exploitative situations. For instance, like let's say there's a party that's supposed to be held somewhere, and it's and most commonly they usually use this terminology that this particular party will be free for the first 10 girls or so. So with that, you realize that girls will actually fall into that trap, and at the end of the day, without them knowing, they'll be lured into gender-based violence. Lastly is digital grooming, and digital grooming is one of the profound tactics that currently are being used to also lure children, especially for this particular generation, not only girls but also children. And this because exploiting the social media and messaging platforms, especially to groom girls, has been quite very common. And this we've also seen also for teenagers who are currently, or who are actually recently or most currently very active within the online space. And it is something that each and every parent, including myself and yourself, should really be very worried of, especially for the generations that are coming. And this is because our perpetrators nowadays, they've mastered the art of putting in adverts that will actually attract the attention of either a lady or even the child, and eventually they fall into becoming victims of technology-facilitated gender-based violence.
According to Mr. Opudo, underlying factors such as poverty and family vulnerability, among other factors, make young people more susceptible to online exploitation and trafficking.
Some of the underlying factors, as you've rightfully mentioned, is actually poverty. And when you look at poverty, you're looking at poverty in 2 lenses. We have the individual lens where the girl or even the boy might end up indulging himself into risky activities such as transactional sex, and this because they want to get quick money for financial relief without them knowing that they've just exposed themselves into a form of gender-based violence. This could be posting pictures privately. It could also be, meeting up with the strangers just so that you can be able to get quick money. Number two, we are looking at family. We have families that we know of, and I think most have actually been highlighted, that they are willing to actually send out their girls to go probably marry from a rich family, or just marry to someone whom they aren't even related or in love with. And as a result, this is also the point where we find ourselves also having cases of early forced childhood marriages. And this is because when you look at the vulnerability in terms of the poverty levels from these particular families, they are in need of quick money that can quickly or easily fix the quick needs within their households. Number two, we are looking at the family vulnerabilities. We have orphans, we have single mothers, and we also have unstable households. Again, especially those households where we have a widower. For instance, the mother died, and the mother has been the backbone of that family. So again, you'll realize that in one way or the other, either the mother, if at all it's a single parent, the mother to the babies, or to the children, may find herself in a position where she needs money to support the family, and as a result, looking at our job market, she'll find herself indulging in risky activities that will predispose her into GBV.
To prevent perpetrators from targeting children online, Mr. Opudo urges government authorities, community leaders, and digital platforms to strengthen their efforts and work together to stop this growing threat.
We have the government roles, and I think for us, the government, this is where we get strategic direction in form of policies and guidelines on the utilization of our digital space. And therefore, when you look at it, I know very well that they have a role in enforcing laws against child marriage, trafficking, as well as online exploitation, and also do investigate reports promptly. And this because by doing so, they'll be able to actually complete the linkages and referral pathways within the GBV referral pathways. Number two, they also have the capacity to actually do the investigations, and therefore you realize that it is not just a one sector kind of an activity. This requires a multi-sectoral approach, and that explains why we are also working hand in hand with the Communications Authority of Kenya to be able to offer that strategic direction. The other important key point is with regards to the role of our community leaders, and their role majorly is to actually raise awareness, advocate for girls' rights, and challenging harmful cultural practices. Why am I saying so? This is because we have cross-cultural factors that do also affect the vulnerability and susceptibility of girls to actually technology-facilitated GBV. And therefore, we are calling upon our religious leaders, key opinion leaders, political leaders, as well as even some of the enforcement agencies or structures within the community at the grassroots level to be able to also raise awareness. Last but not least is on the digital platforms. I think I mentioned that the Communication Authority of Kenya has actually already given a strategic direction, and therefore they also have a role to monitor and remove any harmful content, educate users on online safety, and also provide reporting mechanisms within the digital space. We are celebrating the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, And this started way back on 25th of November, and it will run till the 10th of December. We all know that protecting young girls from exploitation, early marriages, is actually a shared responsibility. And therefore, communities, families, authorities, as well as digital platforms must work together so that we can be able to create a safe digital space and also empower girls, and also ensure that the perpetrators are held accountable, are brought to book. And aside from that, it will be good for us to note that prevention, vigilance, and also compassionate support are very key to breaking the cycle of technology-facilitated gender-based violence.